I am Genevieve Kreft and I am a classroom teacher. I teach year 6 and 7 girls at St Joseph's Otahuhu. I wake up at 5 so that I can get into the classroom at 6. Usually I write up my boards just so the children know what's coming in the day, and also helps me clarify for myself what our day is going to look like. Sometimes you have a week where you feel like you've planned everything ahead of the week, or when you have carryover work and then you're just sort of adjusting the way you're delivering that content, but you know what you're covering. And sometimes I'll have days where, just because of workload and content, I'm here in the morning getting together a lesson. Usually I plan my math the morning of the day, and that's because I find I cannot predict how far they're going to go with the math content that I give them, and I'm not sure how confident they'll be. So I like to do that on a day-by-day basis, and sometimes I just can't face getting to the math at the end of the day. The rest should be planned the day before or the week before. You often find you plan something and then you throw it out the window when something else comes up. Like the striking for climate change that students are doing, we couldn't not talk about that in the classroom, so that's become our focus for writing at the moment. Writing is one of those things where you need the kids to be interested in it, and if they're not interested in it, there's no point in doing it. So you're trying to find topics that are authentic and will pique their interests.
I've learned that you are never too small to make a difference.
It helped by showing them Greta Thunberg.
Our house is on fire. I am here to say our house is on fire.
I think seeing somebody closer to their age speak so eloquently and passionately about climate change made them feel inspired and excited to be investigating all of those issues. You know, every teacher's day is going to look a little bit different. When I got all of my friends came in the holidays for a day, they helped me put all the table group labels on it and all of that sort of very time intensive thing. And one of my friends said, "You don't need to do this. Why are you doing this? You already work such long hours. Why are you giving yourself extra work?" But the devil is in the detail, I think, and what you want to do to make the experience for those kids better. And for me, every term when they come in and they see the classroom has been totally reinvented, that makes them excited about learning rather than thinking it's just the same old thing. So it's worth investing my energy in, even though it is definitely a significant investment. I always write the letters wrong on the board. It's my tradition, not an intentional one. I think it's just due to the time that I'm starting in the morning and being quite immersed in the maths. So almost every day someone says, "You did 2 Gs," or it's one of those things.
What happens next?
Now I need to get my head around what resources I need and go spend some time in the photocopy room. My RE lesson for today. So I created this resource yesterday. It's about what Jesus said in the synagogue. He said things like he'd bring good news to the poor. So I've chosen images to try and get them to think about the fact that the poor doesn't just mean people who are poor in money. I didn't used to do this. I used to let them cut out their own worksheets because, but again, as I said, you don't have a minute to waste in the classroom. I have all the hours of the day. Not that I feel like I've got many in my life, but I only have a certain amount of time with them, and that time is never to be wasted. I am out of here on a good day at 6, and on a bad day, well, it depends how bad the day is, but I'd say on a typical bad day, like 7:30. For me, one of the real killers at this level is the marking, because they produce so much work, and if I don't look at it and show that I care about the work that they've done and make sure that I'm setting the expectations high, so if they're sloppy with something or they haven't thought about something, I can specifically talk to that, then I'm not being a high expectations teacher, and the standard of the work they produce will fall, and also they'll think, what's the point of me doing this because nobody cares. That's at least what I feel. It's really good to come in the morning because it's so peaceful, but also because there is so much to do and so much to get through, I like to have a little bit of wriggle room in there, and it just means I'm not feeling quite as frantic. If I'm here later in the morning, it's really frantic to get it all done. This way I know I can get it done, and then there's time afterwards to do some of the administrative work. Like at the moment our reports are due, so if I get this done early enough, I'll go through my reports to add in some data that I have to add. I don't like that getting up so early and finishing so late means that I need to be in bed at a certain time. There is probably 1 or 2 conscious hours a day where I'm not working, so I don't like that. I love the act of teaching, and I love getting to do a job where I get to learn myself to pass on that knowledge, and I love working with people in communities, and schools are community hubs. We're living in a world where community is absent often and hard to find, and a school is such a place to pull people together. So there's such amazing places to be. Yeah, there were so many reasons I came into teaching.